And off we go, mates. Welcome to Crafting with the Crew. I be CAT MCKENNA, and it lands to me to spend a bit of time here with you this evening. And I've got grand plans and a lot of concern. So we'll see what comes of this, but I'm rather excited to be here, and I hope that you're excited to be here too. Meanwhile, I've got myself a Saturday night beverage. And a couple of hours to kill, and a pile of fabric over here. Now, I don't normally bring people here to the deepest, darkest part of my quarters, but here we are. And you can see I've got all kinds of things here. Oh, maybe we'll take a look at some of that in a bit. But I am here today, ostensibly, to make one of these buggers. This is my very favorite weskit or waistcoat, and I've had it since the very beginning of my pirate career, since I left the shores of Ireland on my somewhat questionable choice of going on the account. But I've had this since forever. I love the lining, I love the thing, but it's a bit beat up, it's a bit patched up. Currently covered in marley fur, and it's a bit stretched out, if I want to be honest. I can't promise that what I build tonight isn't going to be too small as well. I measured it for myself 2 years ago and pre-pandemic, so that's a concern. There are all kinds of concerns, but the biggest of which right now, and I have this because I'm going to use it as a pattern. Now that seems odd to use the actual garment maybe as a pattern, but let me tell you, this is one of the 2 pages that I received as a photograph on my fairy box as to how to put this together. I would have had this done 2 to 3 to 4 years ago. But no, this is what I have, and it's basically not even possible to figure this out. And now it's missing a page as I cannot find the other one. So we've cut out the pieces, so at least I'm that far ahead. And I'm supposed to have a matching and opposite weskit from the one that Nessa, our navigator, just made the same time frame, but hers is almost done. She just needs buttons. So we got this fabulous green fabric. As you well know, green's my favorite color, and it's reversible. So it's supposed to be that the weskit itself will be a reversible. I might have all the pieces to do that. I think I do, but I haven't talked through this in a really long time. Ugh. And what I think I have here are pieces for a blue weskit with a kind of patterny grey fabric as a liner. But I have no idea. It almost looks like I have enough fabric for 3 entirely separate weskits. Yeah, so that's odd. I'm fairly certain I need a liner, but if I have a liner, the weskit that's supposed to be reversible won't be reversible. So I'm rather confused, and I think rather than wasting the viney green nice fabric, I'm going to see what happens when I try to stitch together the blue one, and if I ruin it, it won't be such a tragedy, because I'll still have the pieces cut out for the other one. So this will be really exciting or really not exciting. And if it turns out to be an entire pile of drama and mess, well, that's the other thing. I have more fabric in the same color as my favorite weskit, and I could technically use this fancy fabric as a liner for this, or this as a liner for this. So there's all kinds of options, and I'm really indecisive. And that's why you're here, to keep me on track. Because the captain's busy, so I'm left up to my own devices, and here we are. These are the days of high adventure. But I do, when I finish something, just anything, I do have these really fancy buttons that I'm very excited about using. And I've had them for quite some time. They are fancier than the ones that are on my current and oldest waistcoat. Now I do have another, the brown one, which you may have seen me wearing before. It is a bit shorter and kind of, if you want to get a bit hoity-toity as far as the reenactor level of historical, it's a bit out of our time frame. What are you gonna do? It's a nice waistcoat and I cover it up with all kinds of shenanigans anyway. So, I really don't know where I'm starting. Let's start here. That's so much better. Now I can see what you're doing on the screen. Now I can see a bit more of my space and a bit more of my indecision. Isn't that grand? All right, quickly, let's go into a bit of that reenactor performer thing, because when I do put this together, I fully intend on using me stitchery sewing machine right here. And granted, when you do real reenactment stuff, they're going to want to say, well, you want to hand sew everything and do it all by the book, the way they would have done it and all that with the original tools. And well, I'm CAT MCKENNA. I'm a bit rough on things. And to be bluntly honest, I am a pirate performer before I'm a historical reenactor, and what I wear has got to hold up against falling, rolling, stretching, leaping, swimming sometimes. Granted, this waistcoat that I've had forever was done entirely by hand, but that's kind of another reason I want to try a sewing machine one, is it was decently nicely made, but it's also a bit lumpy in some places and not symmetrical. So we'll try to make one that's a bit less likely to roll in under the armpits or stretch apart and roll back like this in the front. So we'll see. It is good to see you, mates. Thanks for joining me this Saturday evening. I wish so very much that I could play some more music. I have music going on, but I'm fairly certain you can't kind of hear it. So we're stuck with the rules about music getting your videos taken down. So we're not doing that. All right. I have to make decisions here. I don't know what to do. This is the quality entertainment that I have promised you, and we'll be bringing to you this evening. All right. So we talked about buttons. We talked about using the real thing as a pattern. We talked about using, I'm going to make a blue one just to see if I can make something that's even wearable this evening. But speaking of wearable, and speaking of performers and reenactors and all that kind of thing, let's show off one of the favorite things I've got in my closet real quick. As I'm a fairly historical pirate performer type person. In that I don't really ever wear a bodice or a corset or a skirt even. I borrow my brother's clothes when I went to sea, and here I am in reasonably historical garb. In fact, almost more reasonably without the waistcoat, but perhaps I stole it off somebody when we captured a ship. This shirt is, first of all, it's gorgeous. Second of all, it's made really historically, and I'm sad because one of the times I washed, oh no, there it is. It has a wee little tag in it that's coming apart. And it's not because it was made, you know, on a... Alright. It says Grandal, which if you go ahead and look up the cast for Black Sails, belonged to, I believe, one of actually the naval officers, so not a pirate. The person who sold it to me lied and said it was Anne Bonny's, which is fine. It's a really nice piece of garmentry. It's made out of actual linen, and I had to fix it up a bit because being a lady and being a bit smaller than this gentleman was, the neck line went all the way down almost to my belly button, so I stitched it up a bit. It still shows off some chest, some neck, some bosom even, but it's enormous. It has beautiful cuffs and covered buttons, And I love this piece. It came with these as well, which they said were Anne Bonny's, but if you can find any evidence of Anne Bonny having these on her personage anywhere, apparently they did come from black sales, but I don't know who actually wore them. Pretty sure they weren't Anne's. But they're Cat's now, as is this shirt that I stole off the naval officer. Haha. But that's not to the level of items that I be wearing normally. This is a special shirt, or be making even. I couldn't make something like this. My other favorite shirt here is actually the one I'm wearing, which comes from the historical reenactor outfitters J.A.S. Townsend. So they're good for items, base items for me. Yeah, they do a lot of war reenactment stuff, so it's not quite... it's still very helpful to the pirates. So there. Don't let me talk out my rear end for too long. And this is my everything. So, all of Cat's many personalities live in here. I think Cyrena left these even. Hats and hats and hats and... What, am I stalling? Of course I am. But the first thing I have to do is really boring, so you're just going to have to sit here and chat with me, and I'd love to sing for you or something. That's something, you know, you sing when you do your crafting, when you do your chores. Certainly when you're a pirate. All right, so let's see what I've got in my hands here. I believe these are backs, what I'm holding. Oh, good. This one was made with one back piece. That's just great. That's going to be helpful to me. All right, well, let's point over here just a bit more. See if I can measure out and see what I'm working with. I do still have a backup project, just in case this is really a tragedy. I have a pair of aprons that I use for my singing group that I would like to put patches on to make them look a little rattier. So that's part B. This does not look like a front. There we go. I feel like I got to make the outside just to make sure I can make the outside. My good God, I have no idea what this is. All right. It's gonna connect with something. I think this be the back, even though it weren't supposed to have a back seam. Yes, that's gonna stitch together, and that's gonna be a sleeve. All right, I'm figuring out how the bits work. So first off, we're actually gonna put these together and make ourselves a back, a full back, out of two pieces. Oops. You work with what you got sometimes, mates. And speaking of, I haven't been stitching in a long time. This be my pins, and hopefully I have enough to do this up a bit. I want to sing. I need to maybe come up with an accompaniment playlist that somebody makes for me, so that nobody can say, hey, this song isn't your song. It was recorded by someone else. It's a bit of piratical high seas karaoke, if you will. But I'm not even sure I can use karaoke tracks. I don't know what the rules are, both here on Twitch or in general with that, was it DCMA? DMCA? One of those is something about music, and one of those is something entirely unrelated. I don't want to say the wrong thing, assuredly. I just say I don't know, and I'm confused. It's been a long day. I have already been in front of a number of folks and accused of murder. Yes, that's right. Among the other things that I do, I am a LARPer, and we did an online LARP murder mystery today, which was great fun. I didn't do it, in fact, so I'm just tired of proving my innocence for several hours this afternoon. What? Who would accuse me of such a crime? I mean, I never killed anyone, especially not other pirates in our shows ever. I've never just mowed down Nessa at the end of every show for an entire season. Yeah, I do have to come up with some musical goodness. And I can't even sing along with what I'm listening to now, as it's an instrumental. Ahoy, Lolly! Ahoy, Mercy! Good to see you. Are you glad I'm not dusting up your galley this week? Friends Kadaro and Dakar are here. What more can I really ask for? And Devlin. It's not a crime if no one's there to testify. Well, yeah. That's, basis of piracy, mates. Basis of piracy. He who pirates and runs away lives to pirate another day. But especially if you don't leave no one behind to be telling tales. Doc, love you, Doc. Hello to you as well. Doc's TikTok famous. I'm really quite certain this is going to be too small, so I may, maybe we'll pick up a couple of extra bob and give it a sell at some point. All right, I know at some point it has to go this side out. Ouch. I've pinned myself, as if that weren't going to happen. I'm quite handy with a sword, but make the sword 1/100th of the size, and suddenly I'm stabbing myself every which way. Not in the nice way. Is there a nice way? But yes, so the idea of what I'm going to do with this then is right now these are two pieces pinned together as one, and when I stitch it together, hopefully it will open up like this and just become the center back part of the waistcoat. Yeah? And see, that's actually shaped like something. So that's great. Goodness, I hope this works. What's really going to happen is I'm going to do like I did when we were working on Nessa's for the first time. I'm going to stitch it inside out and backwards and need to find my seam ripper. I wonder if I could do seam ripping with a dagger. Ooh. Maybe I'll stitch it inside out just once on purpose. Maybe not. But yes, plan B, or if I randomly just stitch like the wind and get through all this, is to do the aprons for my cousin's cousin, Molly O'Flaherty from Bardi Party. She's got a couple of aprons that need some patches on them. Just trying to be more legit. But the other thing. See, I came up with so many backups because I was so sure this wasn't going to work. Have a little faith in thyself, CAT MCKENNA. Is add the button. That's going to be the hardest part. That's the part I'm doing by hand. All the buttonholes and all the buttons, I'm going to do them by hand, and they should look like this. Which is just, it's a lot of work, but definitely worth it because it looks great and it really holds up because historical stitching. But you're going to do all the way around the buttonhole like this. And then, well, these are all, some of these might have the original stitching, some of them I might have restitched on, but just get them buttons on. I'm real excited about the compass buttons I have though. Those are very exciting to me. Now, I think this is really all I can get to the first time because this is going to attach to this piece. So I guess I'm going to have to run it through the machine. So here's a bit of a change of scenery. Ooh. Oh, I hope that wasn't just, it was. I saw it though. No pins on the floor. That's worse than getting flour in the galley. All right, so for that and the buttonholes, we can get together and do that. We should do that, absolutely, even. And we'll measure and we'll cut them and stitch them around. Funny you should ask, Kadar. We're going to head this way. I wish I had a really nice old one, but this is I want to say an $80 brother that I got long ago when I lived in the Big Apple. Whoosh! All right, there we go. I might have to choose a color here because it's not green, because I was thinking I was working in green. That's not quite matchy. All right, hold on. I've got another place to look for bobs. I've got lots and lots of string. Also, what happened to my... Hello, Echo? Alexa? Keep playing music. Did I unplug you? Fun times. All right, let's get these atrocious instructions down where they can't help me. And flip this on a bit. So it's an old, maybe $80 brother I got ages and ages ago. It's held up pretty well. I don't use it often enough to put too much real wear on it, but she's held up. And I know how to use it, which is a plus. Once upon a time I had a finisher, an edger, a serger, and it came from parts in the Far East, and I could not figure out, it wasn't even how to thread it, because that's difficult no matter what kind of serger you have, but it didn't give instructions on how to put the machine itself together. There was like a big stand with hooks where you were going to loop over all the threads that go down into the serger, and it didn't tell you how to put it together. It was a nightmare. So we're going to stick with the no overlock machine. We'll do overlocked edges a different way, but maybe not even with this. We'll see. All right, so I need new thread. I'll be right back. Oh, look at that. Nah, that's got a timer on it. I don't want to do that. Never mind. I'll just run over here real quick and get the other. All right. And like a classy pirate, I keep my thread in my thread case. I have this beautiful bobbin holder with rainbow colors, all kinds of different colors, so I don't have to wind a bobbin every time. And my very classy flame lunchbox. It's great to put all this in. I know I've got, right. That's a near match, isn't it? Near enough. Near enough for stitchery. What's this one? Oh, that one closer? No. Well, I've got two at least to shoot. Hello. Get off me. This is what, It's the rings. I took them off for bacon for a reason. Not bacon, baking. Alright, well, I'll get rid of that one and see if it helps. Alright, I like this one. It's nice and periwinkly. Ouch, that's a pin. Right in my lap. And I still don't have music. Alexa, keep playing music. You don't have music either way, but there's no reason that I should go without. Alexa, play Pirates and Fair Tunes on shuffle on Spotify. Yeah, I know, you can't find anything. It's fine. It's fine. Classy pirate, isn't that an oxymoron? Well, yeah. Won't even beat around the bush on that one. I think Bones is the classiest pirate we have. The rest of us gives it a shot. Handsome Devlin gives it a shot. The captain's rather classily. Maybe. A little. Alright. And, yeah, I really should have thought about the fact that I haven't done anything in ages and might not remember how to do this on first go. Nope, all good. And it has this special wee little threader thing that I love. Oh, so good, so much faster. And I'm bashing it with my rings, because, you know. Ha! Beauteous. I wonder what I'll get if I just say, Alexa, shuffle me some music on Spotify. She played what I was asking for. That's funny. So we're back to Serena, the sirens. We're going to put some first stitches into this waistcoat. Courage. Now I got to make sure I don't dunk my fabric into my drink either. That would be tragic. And it's got just a wee little foot pedal. Nothing else. No other crazy bits and bobs. And we'll try to do this without stitching my finger to anything. That's also, you know, the best way to do it. And I hope it don't get too loud, but we're going to run it through and then I'll chat with you a bit more. Ah ha ha! Let's run it through with a straight stitch though, shall we? Whoopsie. There we go. There we got a nice zigzaggy start though, so it won't pull out. That's nice. Now, straight down. Right down. Can almost go next to where I pinned it. This is right on the edge. So I'm hoping I don't need to stitch it in again once more. Because I'm a little bit worried about being able to see the selvage edge, which is just the holes in the near the frayy edge on the edge of the fabric. So that doesn't look nice when you can just see it in the garment. Oh, that's much better. Yay! Also, just as we went into quarantine, I picked up a whole new set of sewing needles for the machine. As I was just breaking my last one, so getting it as far as quarantine from the ship, from my other location. Nearly broke it, but I think we done good here. Looks nice, looks nice. Try not to come in too far. I'm worried I'm gonna lose precious inches, as I've already concerned myself with the fact it might be too small the way I measured it several years ago. But again, could go up on the Etsy shop and make us a few bob. Handmade. Oh. And I think the blue is going to be rather pretty. Honestly, I bought it to match my eyes, which are green in certain light, so I might as well keep wearing the green ones. But as I have to put it down when they ask me what colour my eyes are, I always say they're steel blue. Because if I want to be true and honest with myself, they're great. But steel blue or stormy blue or something sure sounds much nicer than that. Oh boy. With me on the ocean floor, stay and no more. Breathe the air of silence. And we've made it! Bottom has been achieved. Let's see. Now I'm going to be regretful that I don't have my flat iron set up, but oh, look at that. There's a back here. Unfortunately, and I will go fetch my seam ripper for this, I wanted to leave it open at the bottom, maybe about 8 inches. So there's a tail to it, as this one has. So there's a bit of a flap in the back. Otherwise, I'll be trapped in it a bit like a hot dog. So that's no good. You watch this for me, and I'll go get the seam ripper right quick. And perhaps yes, a ruler. I wish I had a fancy old-timey ruler, but I don't. I got this weird thing. Let's measure this right quick. I do love when my Grace O'Malley, thank you, Kadaro, just keep watch over it when I go look at other things. I do love when my Grace O'Malley metal songs come on. So I highly recommend Grace O'Malley by the Dreadnoughts. That's not what this one is. I have to try to remember. This might be Grania Noel by someone else. I just don't remember. 8.5 inches. Leave it 8.5 inches. It's a good measurement here. And we're kind of trying to double it, so when I forget, 8.5 inches. Queen of the pirates, she set sail on a raging sea. You will dream of the Irish. Oh boy, did I finish this real good though. cannot remember who this band is. Da 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 dee da da. Also gonna have to make this stitch a bit bigger. It's really tiny. That's gonna be difficult to do anything with ever if need be. Just like now. It's a bit rough here. But also, if you have any questions about costumery, historical garb, I will answer anything I can without making it up. We can look it up if we have a real pressing question. But I'd like to think I know a couple of things I could impart, or give you some advice as to where to grab some of my favorite items, as I did with Townsend. And, you know, if you can ever pick something up from an auction for a pirate movie or show, I mean, fully do that. That's just fun. All right. Now I can fix this. Bloody thing. You know what? Oh, good. Ugh. They're not my fabric scissors, but as long as you're not using the fabric scissors for paper, you can use the paper scissors for fabric. Don't tell anyone I said that. All right. Happy to offer any advice that I can. I'm brand new at the Twitching, and I know that there's folks out there, and as the largest part of Twitch does, they sit and they play video games and people watch, and that's more visual than what I'm doing, but I'm not entirely sure that most folks aren't just here to sit with me and have a chat and have a bit of a quiet time to have someone around in the background. I like that idea. I've had Twitch on just when I'm alone in the daytime to sound like there's someone around when I'm in quarantine. See, you use the fabric scissors for paper? Oh, never say that. Crazy. I'm glad you really don't. That's a horrible thing to say. I'm not the ship's official tailor, but I will tell you, before I were a pirate, before I signed on, I did work professionally in wardrobe on the Great White Way in New York City and on Broadway, and in the great city of Philadelphia at the Prince Music Theatre. I was their wardrobe supervisor. So I do have a great deal of experience. I just left it all way in the past, so I'm real out of practice, which is why I'm excited to be here and doing a bit of stitchery with you all today. There's going to be some exciting stuff coming on Crafting with the Crew. It'll be largely more exciting than watching someone stitch, may I just say. If Mercy had audio, I'd let her tell you about it, but I'm going to give you a bit of a tidbit, is that for those of you who like the painting along like classes, especially the ones with wine, we're going to do painting with the pirates, and Mercy's going to do a paint along. And I imagine she'll do hers with rum. Or rumka, as she tends to do. And we'll have a bit of a paint-along with Mercy, which just, I love it. I'm excited about that. Oh gosh, I hope this works when I stitch it all up. Anyhow. That's why this is the pressureless one. I can always just cut more, right? Stitch twitch! Stitching with twitching. But yeah, so they'll be painting. I know Nessa wants to come on and do a bit of baking as well. I have some actual meals and not just baking that I could always bring out with what's been shipped to me here in quarantine. That's lazy, but it's fun. Rumka was only once, but I loved it. If you're going to drink vodka with the pirates, might as well have an appropriate name. But anyway, Mercy's going to do painting with the pirates, and I'm super excited about that. So what we'll do on the lead up to that one, which I think will be sometime in February, we've got to check with Bones, and we've got to check with the rest of the crew, but Stitch Twitch, we will check and get you all the information as to what you need to paint right along with Mercy and her crafting with the crew. And I think that's going to be a grand time. We'll have to get everyone into our Discord to post photographs of their finished product and have a little wee gallery. I did that last week after I did my baked goods. I was excited to put that I had something to post in the Discord, but I got to post my delicious treats, which are, I was gonna lie and say that I had too many and couldn't possibly bake this week, but I ate them all. Definitely got to try, but I really ate the lion's share of those treats. So I didn't want to make any more right away. I ate them all. It's only been a week. I made 3 different things. All right, this is good. This is very good. Now we'll quickly decide that's where I want it to end. Make a little stitchery right here. All right, show where you're out to. There we go. Mountainside, desolation calls upon the time. I see fire. I see fire. All right, that's it. Done. Ha! There, this time. That's what I wanted. I think, mostly. Maybe. Maniacal pirate laughter. All right, so, yes, the painting will be fun. That's coming up. More baking, more cooking, more crafting. Something else. I'll find something different. I don't think it's going to be... my crafting is very stitch heavy. I also crochet badly. I can make squares and rectangles, so I can make blankets, pot holders, and scarves and things of that nature, but only it's squares or extended squares. That's what I know how to make one. So I can't make like the cute little mouse here in our crafting with the crew. I would love to make that. I'm pretty sure he is crocheted, but I don't have the skill. I'm a pirate, not a crocheter, sadly. But I don't even know how interesting that would be. The latest thing that I grabbed was a pattern for a cross stitch, which has a beautiful autumn fox, because although I'm cat, I do love foxes. That's just not even a secret anymore. And so in order to continue decorating my place entirely in foxes, I need to make that. And I'm not sure how exciting it would be to even sit and cross stitch. I think it's almost worse than doing stuff with big flappy fabric and sewing machine. So I got to come up with some other crafts, or we're gonna be down for puzzles with Cat or something, where I don't know. Put that piece there, Cat, I can see you. That one, no, that one you can't see me anyhow. Foxes for the win. Ahoy, lady wife. All right, so we've got this piece. I think I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to pin together, and hopefully not, I'll measure out this bit and not forget to not stitch that on the lining piece. And then I'll at least have the 2 back pieces together. I use foxin all the time. All the time. I have such foxin. What do I even... This is the least foxy part of the room, and the... While I fetch my things again, my goods, you can see here on the my surface area, my quarters, my bed has all foxes on the sheets and comforters. Goodness, where are all my foxes? I mean, over here I've got Todd. He's kind of Disney fox of foxes if you're not talking Robin Hood, and I have plenty of Robin Hood. Anyhow, that's not why we're here. What's going on? Alright, here's my stitched up piece. Plenty of pirate stuff in here. Plenty of fox stuff too, just don't know where it is. Alright. Alright, there we go. So now let's just see here. I have to figure out, before I do this wrong and badly, make sure I know which side of this fabric is the pretty side, the good side. Ah, yes. Let's switch this around so we stitch the nice side to the inside, so when we turn it out, turn it right side out. It's got the proper nice side and not this white, because that would just be a massive mistake. I'm not in for massive mistakes. Wee little ones like the stitching up the bottom, yeah. Learning about the crew can be part of crafting with the crew as well, and cooking with the crew. Yeah, I envisioned this as just time to hang out with Cat. And I'm trying not to stress about being massively visually entertaining and just try to chat with you all for a bit. Because I need you to like me. All right, what else can we learn about me? I liked being able to tell the bit about working in New York and Philly. Now, the really interesting bit, I suppose. Oh, Kat, what did you work on while you were in New York and Philly? Surely you were in the regional theaters. Yes, well, also, I did work regionally in Philadelphia at the Prince Music Theater as their wardrobe supervisor. We did a ton of shows, including Cy Coleman of Sweet Charity fame, his very last show ever before he died. I'm not sure it's ever been produced anywhere other than the Prince Music Theater at this point. It's called the Great Ostrovsky. And Bob Gunton, who was the warden in the Shawshank Redemption, among many, 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 many other things, but that's the one that's most notable when I talk about Bob Gunton. He was the star of that show, and I, after helping with all the wardrobe, I was also his dresser. He was a very nice man. He actually gifted me a journal, an inscribed journal at the end of the run that thanked me and talked about how unremembered the dresser can often be and how thankful he was for my assistance, which I thought was really, really sweet. And the one real story that I remember was it was backstage one time, and maybe under-rehearsed or maybe just panicking, but during a show, I was walking to pick up his things from a quick change, and he grabbed me by both shoulders and looked me in the eye and went, "Where do I go?" Goodness, I did not memorize his entrances and exits, but I certainly tried to after that. I said, "I do not know, I'm so sorry, sir." And he just kept on his way, panicking a little bit and trying to find his way to what his next bit was. So I'm glad he gave me the gift. I might have thought he just thought I was incompetent or didn't like me because I couldn't help him in his hour of need, but turned out he was fine. He found his way. It was all good. But also at that theater in Philadelphia, did a number of really wonderful shows. I worked with the Flying Karamazov brothers for, I think, 3 full weeks, which was just wonderful. They're amazing humans. And one of my favorite shows, Chasing Nicolette, with Bronson Pinchot, who was a good buddy of mine during that show. Surely doesn't remember me at all, but I had a great time working with him. And as I said, if I'd told me mum when I was 9 years old and watching him on Perfect Strangers that I was gonna grow up and be hanging out with cousin Balky in his underwear one day, she'd have never believed me. Oh well. But the days of the Prince Music Theater were good. They were short and sweet. I think I were there for 2 full years before I moved to New York. And then I tried very hard to get jobs there. I worked for the man who put up Jersey Boys. So the original production of Jersey Boys, original Broadway cast. And I worked for him, but I worked for him as he was putting up a tour of White Christmas. And he said, "Oh, as soon as we open Jersey Boys, we're going to need folks to work on our show." Alas, the man never called me again. Put me to work real hard for that White Christmas, though. It was neat because I was stitching in name tags for the actors coming into the show, and I knew a couple of them from doing the Prince Music Theater work, which was nice. Have I worked on Big Love in Philly? I don't even know what that is, but I'd love some more information. I haven't done any work in Philly officially for quite some time. But when I were in New York, I worked off-Broadway on Jutopia, which was a fun little play with a very fun crew. The wardrobe person on that, I believe his name was Vince, and he was a riot. I loved him. I loved working on that show. And during that time, I also was in the union, as I'd been on a tour, but that's another story. Prior to moving to New York, so I was in the union, and I got work on Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Just a dream job. It was sub work. I didn't work regularly, but I got to do the dresser track for Babette the Feather Duster and the women's chorus, and who else did I run? Somebody else. But that was just wonderful. I got to meet so many people during that one. It was a Greek play starring my very own brother. No, I worked for one specific theatre for one very short part of time. Back in 1704 and 5. So 2004 and 5. Long before I joined the crew. Long before I went on the account. But that I did. Ouch! Woo! A belt got right under my fingernail. That was pleasant. We're fine. It's all fine. And let's stitch this up and see what we can put together for a backing here. And off we go. But I like that it was starring a brother. So you have a lead, or just in the ensemble group show, or my biggest problem about working in backstage wardrobe in theatre is that I was a dresser so often. I liked doing the dressing work. However, one of my main jobs was to do laundry and to mend and set out and make sure everyone's costumes were ready. And I found myself going through the dressing rooms, and especially in New York, especially for the chorus girls, for Beauty and the Beast, I would put out their shoes at their place, and I would look at them and just go, I can do what they're doing. And I would watch the big numbers backstage, even be our guest with all the pirouette turns and everything. I just watched them and went, there's nothing they're doing that I can't do. But I felt, I never got an acting job in New York, although I got many wardrobe jobs. So I decided it was time to go be a big fish in a small pond again. So that's what I'm trying to do. A big fish on the 7 seas, doing the pirate thing. And stitching a weskit, dang it, let me get through this. Alright, here we go. I suppose I'm going to run out of stories at some point. At least those stories. Then I'll have to think up new crafts. Not stitching. Stitching makes me think of the wardrobe days. I used to make up so much stuff when I worked at the Prince Music Theatre and we were not having a show. We were in between shows. I would clean up and I'd tidy up the closet, the big giant wardrobe storage that they had. I would tidy up and make sure I was restocked and everything, and glues and threads and supplies. And then I'd just make stuff for myself. Like, I'd bring in my own fabric and whatnots, but I would use the crap out of that shop, and I do miss that very, very much. I made lots of patchwork clothes for once upon a time. This pirate was a hippie. Just happens to the best of us. Right, about coming around the bend here. There we go. And I managed to not stitch the pin. That was marking my end. So see, I didn't do that. All right. The back. Here is hopefully what will be the inner lining of the waistcoat. Now, I would go, woohoo, great, I'm excited, let's stitch this together to the back and then we'll have the whole back done. Alas, if we do that, we'll have a nicely finished back piece and not have stitched it to any sleeves. So now comes the scary bit. And I only say it's scary because the tops of these are not shaped like any sleeve I have ever seen, but like this. This isn't a neck, this isn't a sleeve, it's all very strange. So we're gonna twitch back the camera over here so I can lay this down and make sure it looks right when I lay it all out. Let's see. Nessa's gonna be so disappointed in me for not making the matching waistcoat. Oh dear. All right, we'll leave that bit for a moment and try to do the inside one that I'm not as worried about because it's going to be inside. So here's my back piece. All right, do it inside out bits. So matching up with that will be this. Oh boy, that is ugly. So when you receive a pattern just jotted down in pencil on a piece of paper, it surely does make things difficult when you're trying to transfer it into larger sizes, which was where this waistcoat came in handy. I could lay it down and approximately measure the right pieces. And goodness, I'm glad I at least got this far. I'm definitely going to be using the other pieces as a base for new pieces before I stitch them together, because I don't ever want to have to translate again. That's very difficult even when you have a real pattern. I haven't done that since my days in school, in college, learning how to stitch from patterns and making patterns and things. And that's harder than it sounds. And I remember how hard it was when I could actually do it. So it's in here somewhere. I just feel like I need a refresher for that. So at any rate, it does look like I found the proper flats, if you will. So I'm going to pin these over here just so I don't put them in the wrong place. And hopefully this will go together without too much headache. Just one piece is longer than the other. It's yup. Thank you so much to the person who gave me the original pattern. You're a very helpful human. And it's too bad we don't talk anymore. Send me a sign, for again she'll rise. Send me a cool wind and wide open your skies. Dear seas of old, I carry safe my love. But if death do befall him, guide him safely above. 1,000 nights I'll sing to you, till dawn I'll stand on your shore. Sea wind, carry my song to him, and blow till he's lost no more. Waves crash and winds blow, I will wait. See my love upon him bestow, I will wait. I'm almost ready to stitch this right as that song comes to a close. Oh, Serena, you're wonderful and inspiring, even when I'm sewing and not singing, and singing while I'm sewing. All right. I'm going to need a lazy Susan if I'm going to keep doing this. Oh, how are we all doing tonight? It's a nice lazy Saturday evening. I am feeling a lot more comfortable just stitching while you're here. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to finish, but I'm damn well going to try. Relaxing after work, yes. So is this your Friday night? Do you now get a couple of days off? Do you get any days off? I'm not ready for this weekend to blow by. So yes, this is your Friday. Just be it a lazy Susan, lazy Darrow. You can be a lazy Susan if you want to. Why not? Take your turn being a lazy Susan. All right, let's get some shoulders in here and then see if I can turn it right side out and make it look like a vest. Animal Crossing and still wearing 5 pounds of eye makeup. My dear friend, I've removed and replaced. Hanging out with your buns. That's right, you've got bunnies. You gotta put pictures in the Discord, man. Oh, and by man I mean lady wife. I voted for you, Ms. Rhetorical Meow. I think you looked the most 80s-tastic of all today, while we were murdering each other in the mall. Dang it! I have lost my echo again. All right, hold on. Crawl under the desk. Watch this again for me. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Ugh. Okay. That has to go far, far away. I don't know what I unplugged. Oh no! That was harrowing. But I think I did it right. So, losing my echo. It's like losing my Alexa. We don't say her name loudly, or everybody's house will answer. It was funny because I were watching Schitt's Creek the other day, and they yelled at Alexis, and my Alexa answered it. How you doing over there, mate? I'm sorry I unplugged you by touching it. Alexa, play some more music. Here's Spotify. Alexa, play Spotify. Thank you. I got her back. Good. All right. We're back on track. All right. Here we go. Shoulders it is. I'm very nervous about this. And I left my pins elsewhere. So we're going to do the very dangerous thing and just throw them in the lid here until I can get the magnet back. All right. I know that the wonderful Rhetorical Meow knows the majesty of the ladies of Serena, as we discovered them together. We're immediately hypnotized for the rest of our lives. That's what happens when you meet some for real sirens. All right. Goodness. All right. All right. To the end. Here we go. It ain't neat, but I knew it when I pinned it that it didn't match up, so it's not too bad. And again, hopefully once we stitch it to the front part and turn it all inside out, the edges here won't be so uneven here and here. But when working with this weirdo pattern, we're gonna do what we can. Goodness, I hope this even remotely fits me. I'm very excited. Unfortunately, it will go far against any personal colors that I like to wear. My colors are green and brown, and to have a waistcoat what matches my blue eyes is just special occasion worthy. Perhaps next year at the Salty Ball. We have yet to get Miss Mercy up to the Salty Ball, and here we are in 2021 trying not to be 2020 all over again. And the Salty Ball is like to take a year off this year. It was the last thing we got to do as a crew last year before suddenly there wasn't any year to be had. Oh boy, this is much smaller. Whoo-wee! This one's a mess. Make it work. Making it work. Ugh. Saved myself. All right. Well, that's some kind of ugly, but there you have it again. The only bit what needs to be pretty is what shows on the outside and the stitching around the buttonholes. So I am very excited to go and look at the Discord when we're done. Yes, we're in the spring of 1720, a plague year, although the history books won't show it. In the spring of 1720, we so innocently did not know what was coming, and we had the Salty Ball, and we had concerts. Rhetorical Meow and I went to shows, and suddenly we crashed into, oh no, this is the last thing we did before we never did anything again. But at least we got to do those things last year. We are now in the tail end of, we don't get to do this time around, even though it's the whole next year. You know, we're in that part of, we don't get to do that this time around, even though we've made it to the next year. We're hoping to add some things back towards the second half of the year, but for now we're still in that missing out on the things we love stage, like the Salty Ball, which is a shame. So we're hoping to gain some stuff back as we go. We're talking about events that we're hoping will come back and that sort of thing. So, all right, this is only the innards, but it does so appear that I have some shoulders. Please don't be the back. All right, the back is the back, the front is the front, my hair's tucked in. All right, well, the next bit's going to be to stitch the back, the blue bit together, the nice part, and then stitch it all together and turn it inside out and see if it makes a waistcoat or not. And then I might have to get out the iron press just to press it flat. But I'm so excited and nervous. This part came out. We got this far with Nessa's, I know. I really should put together the part that that matches hers, but I ain't doing it, so there. All right. Fine and dandy. So let's do it then. This one has much less of a sense of which part is the front and which part is not, so just as long as I don't do it backwards and try to do them on the same bit. Does look promising. Thank you. I'm very excited. I'm so excited I might burp. Nope. Thank you. Very glad I didn't do that. Well, which bit's the bit that is in the front bit? Come on. How do I remember how this goes? I'm going to have to go over to the bed again and lay it out flat because I cannot see how I'm sitting. Shoot! It's much easier when you could see which side is the right side, the correct side even. Okay, I see what we're doing here. Here's my back bit again. And then I want the part that goes big and wide on that part, because that's going to fold all the way over. Alright, that way, and that way. Some pins over here it is again. Let me magnet up these again. Alright, good deal. Haha! By the way, while I'm here, as I tangent once more, this is one of my very favorite things that I ever purchased off of Etsy. Somebody made this just perfect looking Jack doll with all the accessories, belt, perfect little sash, wee little booties made of suede and pleather. It's just, the details were superb. Little pearly beard dangles. He's just the best in all the wee dangly bits that look so good. So he lives in here. You know, next to Figment, because everybody should have a figment of their imagination as well. All right, so now the pinning, that what I came here to do, so we can build this dang waistcoat and actually have it come together. It might work. It might just work. All that Nessa will definitely be mad at me because I didn't properly finish the weskit I came here to do. But I think that I will, I'll need to look into the stitching of that to the dark green fabric, or find another lining for it, because I don't think there's a way to make it reversible with the parts that we cut. Unless it's a single layer, which is hard to do because it's got seams, so I don't see that happening. But we'll discuss it. Nessa and I will discuss which color I get to keep. If I'm the dark one or the light one. I don't care which, but I've got to find a new lining to make that work out, I think. Oh, this is much smaller. Ah! Bloody thing. We'll make it work, that's what we do. I dropped a pin on the bed, how about you? Yeah, so it sounds like this is definitely calling for some kind of karaoke list. I can definitely just talk to hear myself talk, to hear you hear me talk. But, as a ship's musician, I can certainly pull further entertainment out of my rear end as well. Just got to find a way around the regulations. I know I'm a pirate, but I don't like getting kicked off my Twitch. All right. Earthquake. At least my dangly bits are not wet tonight. That is very true. I did wear my dangly bits. So far I haven't stitched them to anything, which is good. But the dangly bits on the jack are awfully nice. I also keep forgetting to thread up my hair and get my beads in, but we'll get there. I had a long day being accused of murder and stuff. Actually, I don't think I was. That's silly. All right. Let's run it through, match her up, and see if we cannot finish this up. I'm more optimistic than when I was floundering around at the start, so come along, fit in here even though you don't fit at all. And go, 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 go. I can stitch right next to the pins. I pinned them down so far. That's nice. Thanks, past me. That was cleverer than you knew. I like it when past me is not disappointing. All right, one shoulder. Does not fit. Different size. Ooh! We're gonna get a little crazy. I'm gonna cut into this a tiny bit. I think that's going to be fine. I think. Remember what happened last week where I got that call for Captain Bows and Mate because my Renfair friends are playing? Well, there it is again. At least this time I have the ringer turned off. All right. Ouch. Oh my. Wet dangly bits. No! You and the captain come in at the worst possible times. I believe on one sunset rum or another, we was talking about, am I going to remember it all? Something about the cat licking itself and how I don't know. Anyway, Captain came in on a rather not good part of that conversation, and I heard about it later. Have I worked with denim? Not much. I did do a pair of patchwork jeans when I was working at the theatre. But not like denim on denim and real heavy fabrics. I haven't used this machine for it. When I did do any of that, I was working on the machines at the theatre, so they're a bit more heavy duty. I thought you dropped your jewelry in the water. Well, we're gonna try to avoid that at all costs anytime. All right, we're nearly done. Nearly done. Nearly done. What was I going to say about that? White dangly bits and denim. Oh, do I have a piece? See, I'm getting distracted. I've got a piece right in the machine waiting for me. Let me see if I can find. Nah. I was going to see if I had my most famous / infamous patchwork dress. Completely innocent. They missed the context, but I still heard about it. My most famous patchwork dress, but I think it's actually still in my mundane closet because it's such a nice little piece. It's good for summer. Whether you're a pirate or a hippie, it's nice to wear in the summertime. Alright, shoulder. Bloody badly sized shoulder. Let's do this. Alright. Don't stitch wrong, mate. Don't stitch wrong. Get it on. Come on, let's do it. I am a firebird. I am his daughter. I am the firebird's child. The firebird, the boldest soul you've ever heard. And join in the dance and make it wild. Okay. Oh, I hope I didn't do this wrong. I might have. I might have made big armpits. No, that's right. There we go. Ugh. There. I might have to take it all apart. Let's find out right now. I'm looking now. No, look at this neck. That's no deep neck. It's a deep armpit. I'm good. Good, here I am. Now, the tricky bit. To stitch the front to the back. Better measure the sides as well, as much like the back, they also have a bit of a slit in it. And I'm going to want to go about the same. I think it's about the same. 8.5, 8.5. It's the same. Good, good, good. So we'll put a little pin in there when we pin it up to make sure. Why? What? Why do you put the slits in? Or why? What have I missed because I fell in the chat backwards and... backwards and late. All right. Yeah. Now this, unfortunately, well, it's longer bits of pinning. So we'll see how we do. Why is there a G in laughter? I don't know. Why is there laughter in slaughter? That's a piratey thing to think about. All right. So technically, I need to stitch around the entire garment. Oh, I thought I had to undo because I didn't see that the neck was in the right place. I was worried it was way high up and not way down low, but it's supposed to be higher. I just had concerns about whether or not an armpit was in the front or an armpit was on the side. Yes, I think I've got to do... This is where I forget how to be a stitcher and forget how to be a draper. Because what's going to happen here is I'm pretty sure I just have to stitch around the edge of the entire thing. But then I don't do linings very often, so I'm very nervous about screwing it up. And then I think when I stitch the sides, it's already together. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. Ooh, I've torn this. Let's fix it right quick, shall we? Panic ADD is what this is. It's panic ADD. I'm going to fix this hole while I think about how on earth I'm actually going to stitch that together properly. Because what I'd like it to do is for you to see the seam on the inside and the seam on the outside, but they're all stitched together properly already, like the side. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into it. I'm gonna play around with it, laid out on the bed over there, and we'll figure it out. How did I mess up the Alexa again? It's rather frustrating. I am going to fix up this waistcoat because no matter what happens with the new one, if I cannot wear the old one anymore, my heart will break. So, and Marley's outside yowling at me. She's sad she cannot be in here. This is the feline free zone, so please don't redeem points to give her anything because she cannot come in here. And it's very difficult to get this all to go out there just to give her the thing. So, next time, save your channel points. It's maybe a good time to remind you, hey, toss us a follow. Maybe even a subscribe. We stream Mondays and Fridays on the regular. Adjustable how? It's not going to be adjustable. It's going to be one size when it's finished. Toss us a follow. Toss us a subscribe. We've got fancy emojis for you if you give us a subscribe. Right now, even if you give us a follow, if you can connect your Twitch to the Discord, you can play Jackbox games with us on Friday nights when we do Gaming on the Deck, which is great fun. We just did some last night. And a few of us have purchased the t-shirts that we have made on one of the games, which is just riotous fun. There we go. Get this stitched up. I didn't even know it was broken. But yeah, do I have to do the side seams before they attach? I'm still trying to figure out your question there, Devlin. Doopy-doo. Alexa, play my Spotify. Yes. Thank you. Maybe. Oh goodness, now I have no idea when it's playing for me, but that's alright. That's fine. We're stitching now. We're chatting now. Hello, Rum Shark. You can still redeem Rum Sharks. I do have a drink here, but that's up to you. Sometimes those are more fun on Sunset Rummin'. I'm actually really surprised that only the inner portion of this has come apart and not the outside. That's how I didn't know it was broken. It has one little wee inside tear, not an outside tear. But I'm also looking at this, since it were hand sewed entirely. Ooh, not entirely, just mostly. That might have been where it was turned right side out. I just have to figure out how to pin it together. How to stitch the front and the back, liner and the top together. And still be able to turn it right side out and have all the seams be properly stitched. That's my challenge right now. Figure out how that actually works. So as I said, I'm panic mending. We'll do that for now and consider it when we get back over to the other bed piece, whatever, over there. This looks terrible. That's why we're not hand stitching everything. But I am using the my favorite thing that I ever discovered when I was working in the theaters is the high mark thread. There are several different types. I might even have two different types here, do I? Meh. Anyway, they have different numbers, but I have several spools of it because it is a pre-waxed, very thick string, very thick thread that is made for reinforcing seams, and are used in the theatrical community for precisely the reason I use them, for reenacting and performance outdoors, because it will keep things together. Your threads will not tear if they're pre-waxed and very heavy-duty thread. And I say will not, but just not so much. Oh, hi, Kirsten's dad. So good to see you, friend. I'm panic stitching right now because apparently my favorite weskit had developed a hole, which is panic-inducing on its own. But I'm also trying to make a brand new weskit, and I'm panicking a bit as to how to put the last part together. And I don't want to think about it yet. So right now I'm just going to fix this hole and consider that a good deed done for this evening. I'm not done with the weskit. I'm just having a pause while I think about it. I'm probably going to have to draft it up. And by draft it up, I mean just go look at it on the bed and pin it up a couple times to see if I'll make it work. But ultimately, because it's got a lining, and because it's a rather simple garment, I'm not putting pockets in it or anything. I'd like to, but I think I would need a better pattern than this in order to do so. Look, there's a pocket. It's a drawing of a pocket and a flap, but no idea how to put it together. So one day when I get an actual pattern, we'll put pockets in. For now, it is what it is. All right, snippy, snippy. Now, is it broken on the other side is a question. Just a wee bit. We'll put a reinforcing stitch in here just to make sure, she says, as she lost her needle. Don't panic. Don't panic. Oh dear. Oh good. There was no thread in it when I lost it either. Oh, there was. It just matches my hideous carpet. Ah. So how are you tonight, Kirsten's dad? And Kirsten, I should hope. Perhaps. Maybe. But tonight we are rounding the bend on getting a new weskit made while I'm currently patching up the old one. Just to make sure it survives long enough to not have whatever it is I'm making be the only option I have, which I don't know about that. So, alrighty. And this just needs a bit of make sure you don't dare fall apart stitching. Just a wee bit of reinforcement that hopefully you can't see too badly from the outside. As I didn't use green, I've used this tan. Ice cream! You know what they say. And Devlin and Mercy and Dakar will back me up on this one. Pirates love ice cream. Boy, do we love ice cream. Ain't nothing better than spending a whole day with our friends on the beach or at an event or at a party and then going for ice cream. That is just the best thing. And people don't talk about it very often, but it's true. See, Mercy says it's true. I mean, who doesn't like ice cream? But us, we pirates, we just love ice cream. Ice cream is life. I am upset with myself because I did have the last piece of the apple cheesecake crisp that I made last week when we were cooking with the crew and not crafting with the crew. And I forgot to have it a la mode. I feel almost that I should be punished because that's just unforgivable oversight. I have the ice cream! But I was getting ready to come here. I was a bit nervous. And by come here, I meant just, here. To the Twitch. Alright. That looks a wee bit better. I am feeling better about my seams that I'm... this wasn't supposed to be this much of a panic stitch, but now I'm starting to see it tearing in a bunch of places. Cannot let that happen. But also tying the knot in your thread is very important. I feel underdressed today as well, but I didn't want to wear a waistcoat if I was going to be trying one on. So hopefully I shall. I could try this one on, but you've seen it. All right. Are there any crafts or projects that you are all working on these days? Lots of people have learned new things, how to do new things while there's been a plague on and everybody's been stuck at home. Just learning how to do new tricks and new crafts and projects and talents. And now what Devlin will always say is that Cat should have been spending her time practicing the concertina, which he's right, but I haven't. So more the shame on me for that. But unlike on the ship, where I am these days, I have cranky neighbours who I don't think would appreciate it, because it's not a quiet instrument. But perhaps one day when I know they're not there. Knitting! I never came around on knitting. I was telling you before that I can crochet a wee bit. Squares and rectangles, extended squares, as it were. But knitting was beyond me, and I have a couple of pairs of knitting needles, and Rhetorical Meow, who was on earlier, if not now, did teach me very basic knit, and for a while I could do just a couple of rows, and I can't cast on. It's very difficult, so kudos. I was never able to pay. Maybe I'm not. All right, as you're watching this stream, as I'm bouncing from here to there and doing different parts of my project all at once, maybe that's why I'm not so good at knitting. I can't pay attention enough to know where I am in the knit and constantly messing it up. Installed a new toilet today. Well, goodness. That's impressive. I did that one time with the help of my dad. It is not a fun process, but I'm glad there's no leak so far. You don't want to go back and do it again once you've already done it, because it's not fun. The latest batch of mead. What flavor is your latest batch of mead, Kajaro and wife? Because really, I need to know. And then I need to have some. All right, so that was just the three slits, apparently. My rear end does not know its own power. It was busting through. Everything else on the inside looks pretty darn good. So the old weskit's doing great. Let's go see about the new one. Chug, 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 chug. All right. So, the question is, what happens and where can I stitch it and still have it go together proper? Should be able to go all the way around. Oh! I'm having some memories of stitching stuff. Because in some places it's going to stitch directly to the backing. I gotta do the sides first. That's what it is. And Devlin was right. That's precisely what he was saying. It's not adjustable. I don't know what that comment meant still. But I do have to stitch the sides together. And then we'll pin everything together and stitch all that. All right. And again, when I have to pull this out because I was wrong, then I'll deal with myself. Rah! Oh no, did I just sit down and forget what I was doing? No, there we are. I think this is much, 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 much shorter on one side. And that is not the style of waistcoat I was trying to build. Oh dear. All right, let's just see how badly measured this is. There are approximately 2.5 inches. Orange mead added too many raisins, but it gets the job done. Apple cinnamon, I mean, as meads go, I would highly, I would not even recommend. I just love a apple cinnamon. All right, so because I'm not stitching all the way to the bottom on the sides anyway, the back bit can be a bit longer. It's not going to ruin anything. It's not even going to look that weird, I don't think. There are some weskits that were built that way, where they're shorter in the front and longer in the back. They're not precisely of our time period, but this isn't enough of a difference, like a 5-6 inch difference, that it will likely matter too much. I am sad that it won't match up, though. So what I might do is pin it, at least down to the 8.5 inches, and then see if I want to trim it, because right now, before we stitch it all together, is the time to get rid of any extra fabric that ain't gonna work. But I feel like I really wanted that length on this one, so that's a shame. Shame. What's your name? I know what it is, but I ain't sharing on the wide webs. That's my own problem. Ah yes, the merchandise link. Thank you, Stream Elements, for reminding us. If you look down below, you will find a link to not only our Etsy shop, which has all sorts of things in it that were handmade by the crew, and our mermaid, but also you'll find a link to our tea. We have crew teas that we talk about quite fondly on and quite often on our Sunset Ramen. Almost every crew member anyhow, has their own proprietary tea, their own flavor. And those come from Adagio. They're in the fandom teas. And they're quite yummy, I must say. They are all very good. Mercy is not wrong. And also the merchandise link right here in the chat from Stream Elements will show you some special merchandise just from the Twitch, which includes logo merchandise with our Laughing Jack on it, with our kind of extra special Laughing Jack in a compass rose that Nessa made up that entertains Devlin to no end. And also we have blankets with these logos on them now. So we have mugs, coffee and tea mugs. We have blankets. We have t-shirts and tank tops and phone cases. All kinds of good things. And Lolly and Doc grabbed the blankets. And so far, everyone's jealous. So that might have to be picked up. It is the winter time. It is time to have a blanket. And right now, as we're going right into the February season of love, we have some merchandise that originated on Hugs and Kisses Bones, or XOXO Bones, where our own helmswoman Anne Boneslin gives love advice. So there's a t-shirt that says the 3 R's of romance, which I'm not going to remember, and I'm going to screw it up, so I'm not even going to pretend that I'm going to try. I think it's Rose's Rum and Revenge, though. Which sounds awfully apt, as it is. Alright, so now I don't know whether to measure up from the short bit for the tail, or up from the long bit for the tail. Oh, the stress. Rose's Rum and Revenge. Thank you, Mercy. This is just awful. This is just awful. I'm not a perfectionist, except I am. But this is very difficult, and made more difficult by the lack of proper pattern and careful cutting. And the person from whom I purchased the pattern and did cut out the original ones of these does not do either. So no proper pattern and no careful cutting. Just kind of fabric hacking. And that always makes things difficult. We do need a merch seller at events. Do we have a volunteer? Powder monkeys are real good for that. Then again, at events, we also have the powder, so someone's got to be watching out for that, besides Doc, because he'll just use it all up. Alright, this is... very dissatisfied, and I sit down like that. I look terrible as well. There is a full 2 inches of fabric that I can either cut off or ignore and just stitch it so that the tails and the back are a bit longer. What say you? Does anyone think? I don't know. Let me look at the waistcoat that exists before I finish pinning this. All right, so this one's pretty even all the way around. And these are the parts here that on my version are not matching up at all, and the back is longer. It would give us a set of tails in the back, but my hair, Marley's hair, just hair everywhere. So these side seams, I suppose this one here, whether it was by accident or not, let's pull this up. And maybe it's only on this side. Who knows how lopsided this is, and I never really noticed. It looks like it's almost, come on rings, come on fingers. It is almost an inch longer. Trying to show, but there's no background, so it's hard to see. It's almost an inch longer, maybe 3/4 of an inch longer in the back. So I'm saying I'm probably gonna let it go. Let it go, let it go. We'll see what happens, and I'll have to just make sure I measure properly on the blue side to match. So we'll do that, and we'll call this right here. All right, so if we stop right at that pin where it is, we'll call it 8 inches and 6 inches. This might look really funny, but we're going to give it a shot. All right. We're gonna stitch aside. Also, Kirsten, I have something for you, so we're all hoping very hard for Olcott this year. As it's an in-person gift only. We'll get there. Oh, hey, Chappie! Thanks for stopping in. I'm having stress, but I am getting through this, and another waistcoat is imminent. Hopefully, it's 23 minutes imminent, but we'll see about that. It's a matter of Cat shutting her mouth and getting some stitching done. So, here we go. This uneven nonsense that I've called a pattern here. Ah, pins. All right. Uh-oh. That didn't sound good. No! Well. Something happened. That's fine. It didn't do anything terrible. I just need to reload the needle here. What did I do? What did I do? There we go. What did I do? Half of this is muscle memory, I got to say as well. Were you just talking about Olcott? I don't suppose you've heard anything. We haven't yet. All of our hopes and dreams are resting on Olcott right now. All right, and back down, and back in, and through. Whoops. I just did this before and knew what the heck I was doing. There we go. All right, let's try this again. Feels a little tight though. Don't love it. Don't love it. Starting to get real hot in here. Come on. Come on. Did I lose it again? I hope not. Can I tell? Can I tell? No! No! Alright, the bottom's fine. I've loaded the top silly. You know what? as it's desperately hot in here, and I have got to use a priv, it looks like it might be a really good time for a quick break. So don't go far, please. I just have to use the priv. And I will reload this and we'll get a stitch in and we'll finish this up. And there's only a wee bit of time before 9, so don't go anywhere. And remember, when we're done here, we're going to go visit our buddy Rock and Doc, who's playing music. And that's always fun. He starts at 9, so that's great. And it gives me just enough time to at least stitch up this one side of this waistcoat. All right, be right back. That's funny. I'm back. I was quick. Everything's settled. That was supposed to be a countdown timer. I'll have to figure out how that doesn't work. I'm learning. It's all coming together. But I'm going to slice down this thing here now so we can get it all half put together. Here we go. Vroom. 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 Ouch. Pins. Pins flailing about. All right. That's the one side. Now the other, as we stop 8 and 6 inches from the bottom. Thank you, mate. We know that you will, and we'll also let you know the minute we hear anything as well. It would be the most thrilling news were we to know that we could head back to our favorite place to play. There's so many good places to play, but there's a special place in so many of our hearts for Olcott. And so many of our new folks have been wanting to get up there. You never met May May. And we've still never yet met Piper, her May May's baby. So it's about time for us to all get our Fauci ouchies and move along with our lives someday, hopefully later on this year. Keep crossing your fingers, mates, and wearing your masks and staying home, and soon enough we'll all be together again. I know! Poor Chappie keeps getting shorted by circumstances. We just brought on Chappie. I'm excited. I think you'd really love Olcott, if for no other reason than it's also sponsored by the local fire department. And they put on a good event. Lots of folks. We've been talking a real good game about Olcott, so everybody knows it's the place to be. Also, I've never been to Hampton, so I can't speak to that. But everybody loves Hampton as well. I know when Doc does his TikTok, because he's famous on TikTok, when Doc does his TikTok live, talks a lot about Hampton Blackbeard Festival. I believe I'm going to be missing it again this year if they do have it, but that's on the down low. We'll make that announcement on Monday. Not about Hampton, but about my life. This is my life stream, but it's just something I cannot mention officially until Monday. So, pirate vow renewals. Oh, aye. Oh, the governor just lifted restrictions. That's good. That's in the right direction, man. That's all we can ask for right now. Goodness. Yes, we could talk to Devlin a bit more about that as well. He's always been in the market for doing weddings. I was kidnapped at my own wedding by the captain and some cohorts. It worked out awfully well for the captain in the end. So there. All right, 6 inches and 8 inches, we said. There's 6, there's 8. We'll stop the stitchery right at this pin. Alright, here we go. One more seam, and we'll see what the inner bits of this look like. Now that I think I've managed to do it right. Even though I panicked. And I did. I panicked. I did. I was nervous. Alright, get flattened. Don't stitch incorrectly or lazily or too quickly. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Oh, so close. I think that maybe someone tried to put some hips in this, which I have hips, so it was nice, but it doesn't come off so well, so womp womp. Let her go. Alrighty. How exciting. Choppy, choppy. That's one of my favorite parts about this machine. I think most sewing machines actually have it, but there's a wee little razor blade on the edge here. It's covered, so I'm not slicing up my finger just now, but where you can just pull the thread around the edge and slice it off. It's just brilliant. All right. Blackbeard is down your old stomping grounds. All right, I'm wearing my actual shirt. Now I have a lot around my waist, which isn't going to help, but here we have Weskit City here. Oh man, it actually works. I can maybe button mine. Not with all this around my waist, but oh yeah, this could work. Nessa's gonna be jealous if I can button mine. So this is the inner part and the bottoms with the sides cut out. Right there. Yeah, see, it's a bit longer, but I don't hate it, as Red Legs and Duncan and everybody the heck else would say. Oh, I got to move into the camera, not away from it. And there's my wee butt flap. All right. I got 10 minutes to stitch up the blue one, and then maybe I will just keep going until I stitch it together. We'll see. All right, let's not waste any more time. As the Scots say, that's the easier way of saying it than rather than listing all of our Scotsmen. Okay. Woo, that's exciting. Back we are. Back with the pins. All right, and the sides. This is just bloody hideously cut. This is a straight edge. That's why I think someone tried to put a hip in it. But again, I know which person cut the original, which is the blue. So I bite my tongue and we move on. Got bagpipes playing in my ear. Just as we mentioned, the Scots. How delightful. Now, the problem, I suppose, was it just fit me. Just barely. That's fine. See you later, chappy. Thanks for coming in and sticking around while I stitch for a bit. The problem is, it just barely fits. And that's before I stitched all together with a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch seam around the entire edge. And then turn it inside out and make it even smaller. So there's maybe still yet a chance that that this one goes on the market. Maybe for sale. It matches my eyes. But maybe we'll just call it Cat's Eye Weskit. And we'll see. I'd love to be able to wear it. I do need a backup. But right now my backup is my brown. I wear green and brown. It's just how it works out. The more green, the better. That's just me being vain about my red hair and how nice it looks with green. But, you know. Bagpipes are awesome. I do not have patience for anyone who's going to malign the bagpipes. Nope, 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 I do not. They can be festive or mournful. Many moods of bagpipes. But when they get going, if you ever heard... I mean, everybody knows about Titanic and all that, but our mates Kudu, ow! When they get going, it's a party. Oh my. My, is it? It's an Irish thing. It's a Scottish thing. We kilts and our pipers. If a piper down, I repeat, a piper is down. Oi. Ugh. I cannot believe how much this bends. Oi, 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 oi. We're going to make it work. We're going to make it pretty. We're going to make it good. I'm trying to think about the pricing of really nice handmade weskits. To see how I would go about that, because once I put in the elbow grease, this is just flinging it through a machine. Oh, yes, the red, hair and green is the Irish bit. But this is just flinging it through the machine, and it doesn't take much. I would say effort, but it doesn't take much effort. But getting those hand stitched buttonholes, that's the thing. So if we do that and decide this goes up for sale, I have to price my work, and I'll be really upset about the very crooked pattern. So I'm hoping I'm sewing straight seams into a crooked pattern. That's all we can hope for. I do feel like I made pretty good progress. We're nearly stitched together. If I can at least get the front and back, or the top and liner lining stitched together before we wrap up here, I will feel very good about this project. And hopefully, even if you don't stick with me as I finish, I did promise a visit to Rock and Dock, so we'll have to get there. But if I can get this together, I will post pictures right in the Discord. Speaking of, I forget I still have the power, even though I'm doing stuff. Don't my cue. There! And while I don't have the special GIF that Nessa made for Friday night, you can connect your Twitch to your Discord. And if you do that, and search for Pirates Fortune's Folly, you can add us on Discord. Come in, have a chat. Show me pictures of your crafts. Show me pictures of your cooking. Show me pictures of your rum. Show me whatever you like, and make requests for songs and dishes and topics. And the Discord is for us to become a community from the Twitch. So let's give it a shot. Go on over, check it out. All right, let's run this down. That's a guarantee I ain't gonna finish my 9 now, as I just broke the needle. And I still don't know why. Something down below is pulling too hard. Alrighty. Let's not lose that. I will step on it. Oh dear. And I might have lost it. Fun. Well, not that I can show you close up, as my setup here is not the best. Oops, I don't need that. Just this. But I do have my handy dandy little everything that comes apart and a brand new package of needles, because I'm clever and knew this was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen while I was streaming, but there you have it. Look at that. I got 2 old ones left. We'll use those first. Dang it! I nearly made it. I don't usually treat my poor machine so badly. Don't understand. Whoop! Well, screw you, needle! Ha 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 ha. Screwdriver joke. I really do need to find the end of that needle before I step on it. Oh boy. You know, I mentioned Kudu, and I think that's actually who's currently playing on my playlist here. So, bagpipes, and a shout out to Kudu! Alright, so hopefully this is sharper, and we'll maybe reload the bottom just to be sure nothing freaking weird is going on. Wow! Well, as I chase the broken needle, so do I chase the bobbin what's run away. And do I dare stand up without finding that broken needle? I don't know. Here we go. Here's the bobbin. Perhaps I'll just get out the broom. Familiars. Save that familiars for Monday. That was my favorite ever moment with Kudu. They were with us when we did the Pocono Mountain Renaissance Fair when we was fairies, which was weird for a bunch of pirates. And there were pirates. They just, it was Doc and a couple of other mates that were not folly pirates at the time. And, whoa. Meanwhile, Kudu was there, and they loved the dancing fairies. I loved to dance when I was a fairy. But by far the best was they came to the New Jersey Renaissance Fair and played the Macarena on the bagpipes. Do you remember the wee one? I never remember his name, but I always get sad when he doesn't come out to an event that I'm watching Kudu at. The wee guy with the pipes who will legit just run in circles. Massively entertaining. Massively entertaining. All right, since I came to such a screeching halt based on machine error and being a little bit nervous about a broken needle in my carpet, I'm going to wrap it up. It's 9 o'clock. We'll shoot over, and what I'll do is I'll give a listen to Doc while he plays music, and I'll harmonize along here as I'm wont to do. I keep typing to him. I said, I'm harmonizing as loudly as I can here. But I will wrap this up. I'll try to finish it and post a couple of photos. So it'll be great. And I'll post it in the Discord, so hopefully we'll see you there. All right. Good night, everyone. Here, cheers.